Welcome to WagerTalk Today, the gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. It's Tuesday. We got NBA. We got college hoop. We got Super Bowl props. Dan, it's a great day because you and I are going to be breaking down a same game parlay for the Super Bowl, baby. Let's go. SGP Tuesday. What do we got on today's show?
Yeah, I'm jacked up. Not only is it SGP Tuesday here on WagerTalk Today, at WagerTalk.com, we got $5 Tuesday for you, a little Super Bowl edition of that. You can get your handicappers' best bet that they're liking today right now, $5, their featured play over at WagerTalk.com. We'll talk a little bit about that, but first I'll let you know what we have coming on. As Andy alluded to, we're going to give you a 4-leg SGP in the Super Bowl that is guaranteed to hit. Andy, I'm just kidding. Knock on wood there. Jesse and Ralph are coming on the show. Jesse's going to kick us off. He's talking Celtics and Mavs. Great matchup here in the association tonight. He's got a Super Bowl prop for you. And then, of course, we're finding out which team he is fading in the NBA as well. Ralph is going to come on. He's got that Peacock doubleheader for you. That's right. Xavier taking on UConn and your Hoosiers, Andy, taking on USC. We're also going to talk a little bit about Super Bowl 60 props with Ralph. Maybe we can get a primer, get our heads right for the SGP that will drop at the end of the show here. But there's a great Wager Talk guide that you can get that's free. Ralph painstakingly goes through, year over year props and gets you a nice thing that we were referencing yesterday when we were talking about our passing props here. So, great show coming up. Two great guests. And then, of course, Andy and I have WTF LFG, some follower fades. Andy's going to go all around the world. So free picks galore and the tools you need to cash on the Super Bowl, Andy. I'm pumped up, brother.
Well, let's get into WTF LFG. Olmark moves to 8-0.
Well done
against the Penguins. Amazing.
The do theory didn't cash in. Sens money line that ended up becoming a sharp play, Andy. You love to see it. That was a great cash by you yesterday. Well done, my good sir.
Well, let's do WTF LFG. We actually got two of them because Dan's going to do a feature, which takes a couple weeks, and it's been made well known that if you give out a winning play, if it doesn't matter if it wins or loses, it needs to win in the manner of which the audience likes. We have a very picky audience here. So
well, they can shred me, but when they cash a 285 plus 285 in a few weeks, they won't be too banged up because we were joking before the show came on. Ralph was backstage, and I was like, I think I'm going to give a future for WTF LFG, and Ralph's like, well, that's a way to get people to watch through September to see if they end up cashing it or not. No, don't worry, folks. This is one that will be graded in a few weeks because this is for the PLL Championship Series. It's an indoor tournament that goes over 2 weekends, Andy. It used to be just one weekend, and they stretched it out. The rosters were finally dropped this week, and I won't belabor the point because none of you know who these players are, but one of the strongest rosters that has the most familiarity with this format, a good goaltender, and a team that has the motivation that you want in a tournament that really doesn't mean anything other than some bragging rights and, of course, some additional paychecks for these PLL players. I like the California Redwoods, Andy, at plus 285 to win the PLL Championship Series. Again, reason being, I alluded to the fact that this roster is primed. It really makes sense for this format. They have a lot of good size, so defensively they should match up well. I would argue they have one of the best, if not the best, goaltender for this format. So games should be staying low for them. And really what we're looking to do with this one, folks, is we're going to have this in our pocket, and then we're going to see once this tournament, it's only 4 different teams, folks, so you got a 1 in 4 chance here. Once we see how these kind of work out, Andy, we'll be looking to see, could we get an exact against a team that I think will make it to the championship to beat the California Redwoods, and then we'll set up for no profit. So plus 285, the reason why I want to give it out as a WTF or LFG, Andy, is because that number won't be here in a few weeks when people start looking at this roster. It's going to be closer to 2-1. So let's get that extra 85 cents. That is the WTF or LFG that you have to figure out in 2 weeks. But Andy, you got one that they can cash tonight, correct?
Yeah, let's talk backup centers in the NBA. Nothing gets the ratings up like backup centers.
Yeah, baby.
Let's go Jonas Valanciunas over 7.5 points. Let me know if you like the over or the under. Jokic is back. Guess what? He's still gone over 6 games in a row. The last 2 games with Jokic in the lineup, he's gotten 11 shot attempts per game. And when he comes in off the bench, I mean, this guy is one of the best backup centers in the league. This guy would be starting for half the teams. He goes up against the backups of the other team. He's going up against Detroit. Very good team, very good defensively, but he went 6 for 10 from the field for 16 points last time they played. Jokic is still on a little bit of a minutes restriction. And this is a back-to-back situation for Denver. They're going to be careful with Jokic. Jokic may not even play tonight. So if he sits, you're getting a beautiful number. So WTF LFG. I'm going to LFG with on yours, Dan, because when it comes to lacrosse, I do not question the lacrosse god here. So Jonas Valanciunas, 7.5 points. WTF LFG.
Oh, well, Andy, you're tailing the future. I got to tail the daily play. You nailed it with the Sens yesterday. And one of the things that I think you and your team do very well is when you handicap the backup or you handicap the guy who's further down the roster, simply because you use the same tools that you're using for the primetime players, for the name brand players, and you're looking at minutes, restrictions, matchups. So, Andy, this is a no-brainer for me for the WTF. Let's go. Valanciunas time. I'm all in, baby.
Love big lumbering backup centers. God,
you have to.
It gets me up in the morning. It's like a cup of coffee, shot of espresso. Let's bring in Jesse. Jesse, what's up, brother? How are you this morning?
Doing pretty good. I'm looking forward to pissing off some more people.
Let's go. We're gonna do your we're gonna save your Super Bowl a take. We want to get to a little bit of NBA. You've got a couple games here that we're going to talk about. We want to talk about a team to fade, and we want to talk about one game to break down. So let's do the fade. Can we do the fade first? I always love when you do the fade. What's a team that you're looking to fade moving forward here in the NBA?
Well, since the WagerTalk staff has so many people from the city of Detroit and the office staff and the CEO, let's fade Detroit, Andy. We got the Denver Nuggets at the Detroit Pistons. This one on the overnight line, I was licking my chops. Detroit was as high as -6.5, and I thought that line is way too big. It's come down. It's come down for a reason. I'm seeing 4s across the board now. Detroit a 4-point favorite. Total sitting at 227. Denver comes in with a record of 33-17, 29-29 against the spread, 19-7 on the road. So their road record looks very similar to the Pistons' home record. Pistons have 19 home wins. So what I'm really excited about for this game is the return of the Joker. Jokic came back his first game in over a month, 31 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists in just 25 minutes. Guy hadn't played in a month, and he knocks it out of the park like that. You know, a lot of people are up in arms about the fact that Bill Belichick isn't a first ballot Hall of Famer. Where is the outrage that the Joker hasn't won 5 straight MVPs? There is no question in my mind that he's the most dominant, the most valuable, the best player in the league, and has been for 5 or 6 years now. Joel Embiid winning the MVP is a travesty. SGA, he's mid compared to Joker. Anybody who's telling you that Joker isn't the best player in the league is either they don't know ball or they're being intellectually dishonest because of politics and financial incentives. But aside from that, the Pistons, they're in a bit of a look-ahead spot. This is a non-conference game. They got a pretty solid cushion, a 5.5 game lead at the top of the East. And they got a back-to-back coming up on Thursday and Friday with the second leg of the back-to-back against the Knicks, who are second in the East. I just don't think the level of urgency for the Pistons matches the level of urgency for the Nuggets, who are just a half a game back in the Spurs from the Spurs in the Western Conference for that second spot. And really, they're a 3-game losing streak away from being in the NBA play-in. So I think Denver needs this game more. Denver's won 8 of the last 10 meetings. The 2 losses both came by just 2 points. They're getting 4 points here. I think they're going to win the game outright. We're fading the Detroit Pistons, Andy.
On behalf of the Detroit office and Johnny and Missy and M2 and Chris and everyone that's up there, we have to care to make this interesting. I mean, you can't come on and rip the Detroit Pistons here. So on behalf of the Detroit staff, let's do a 3-day pass. The number's 4, I believe. So you've got what do you got? Denver +4, Jesse. Is that the number you like?
That's what I'm looking at. Yeah.
All right, we'll take the Pistons at home -4. It's getting warm here in Indianapolis. It's getting warm up in Detroit. The Pistons are heating up, so we'll go with the Pistons. And as always, Dan, tell them how we can win a 3-day pass.
All right, let me break this down for you. After the show ends, comment below with Jesse if you think the other side is the way to go with this one. If you think Detroit getting the 4 points here, comment below Andy. You have to include your WagerTalk username, and if you do that, folks, if your side covers the 4 points, you are entered in to win a free 3-day flex pass. It's that simple. It's that simple, Andy. But after the show goes live. And yes, I broke it down there nice for you, RJ. Slowly, slowly. After the show ends, comment below.
RJ says, it's crazy how WagerTalk went from parlays are for losers to an SGP on nearly every show. WagerTalk was not parlays are for losers.
That
Kelly.
was Lawrence. Yeah, Kelly parlay for losers and Lawrence Presman. That was like his big thing. He was like, unless you're doing a 3-leg and you're getting the true odds, don't do the parlays. Don't do it.
Yeah.
We should scrap the rest of the show and just let Dan do Prez impressions.
Prez will somehow he'll like hear his like, oh, somebody's talking about me, and then he'll somehow show up on this show. So let's not summon that demon, Jesse. Let's see the course forward.
Well, let's move to an individual game breakdown here, Jesse. Let's do the Celtics and the Mavericks. Celtics, to me, probably the biggest surprise of the season. They're playing absolutely incredible. They're taking on the Mavericks. They're pretty big underdogs here. Mavericks +6.5 over under 223.5. You've been lights out telling us about unders and how you've noticed there are a lot of teams going under the total, and we just keep seeing it night in and night out. And you're 100% correct. These totals were in the 230s a month, 2 months ago. Now you come on and they're in their 220s. Interested if you're going with a side, if you're going with a total in this one.
Yeah, well, this game isn't going to be quite as much fun, Andy, because I don't think I'm going to piss anybody off with this one. But I certainly noticed that the Celtics are one of those teams that have been going under the number. But I'm questioning the spot for them here. Boston 31-18, 27-21-1 against the spread, 15-9 on the road, tied with the Knicks for first in the Atlantic, coming off back-to-back home wins over Milwaukee and Sacramento. And both of those games went under the number. They've gone under the number in 8 of their last 10 overall. The issue, though, is this is the first leg of a back-to-back for the Celtics, and they got Houston coming up tomorrow night. Boston 7-2-1 against the spread in their last 10. They've gone under in 7 of their last 10 versus the Mavericks. Sorry, 7-2-1 against the spread in their last 10 versus Dallas, and under in 7 of those 10 games. Dallas, obviously not a playoff team, not a ton to play for, but they are 14-14 at home. So if they could win tonight's game, they'd have a winning home record. They've lost 4 games in a row, but 3 of those games decided by 6 points or less. I got my eyes on Cooper Flagg. He's got 83 points in his last 2 games. And if you look at his last 4 games, he's averaging 23 field goal attempts per game in his last 4. And I'm sure Andy would agree with me that looking at a guy's field goal attempts can be just as important or more than the points he's been scoring. His number for today's game, 20.5 points. I do like Cooper Flagg to go over that number based on the fact that he's just getting a ton of looks. I do think it's a questionable spot for Boston playing the first leg of a back-to-back. And I would lean taking the points with the Mavericks if I was taking the side, but the play is going to be on Cooper Flagg over 20.5 points.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. PJ Washington's out. They're just so thin across the board, the Dallas Mavericks. And yeah, you look at these attempts and they're through the roof. So yeah, I think Dallas did pretty good with that pick, Jesse. I think they might have a winner there in Cooper Flagg. So we're going to break down a Super Bowl prop. Tell everyone what you have up. It's $5 Tuesday over at WagerTalk.
I do have a college basketball total in the Mountain West for $5 Tuesday, and I've got 5 Super Bowl plays in a package for just $29. Get all 5 of them. Get them today. Get them before the lines move.
All right, let's do it. Talk about the Super Bowl. Give me a prop, but I know the Patriots fans are not going to be happy with you.
Well, Andy, I'm going to talk about who's going to win the Super Bowl, and I'm going to talk directly to Patriots fans. I want to tell all of you out there, if you're a Patriots fan, Mike Vrabel and Drake May will win the Super Bowl. Just don't think it's going to be this year. I don't think these two teams are close. I think you look at the strength of schedule, and I know it's a talking point that Patriots fans don't want to hear about or don't agree with, but it's undeniable. The Patriots played the softest schedule in the league this year, and when you look at their path to the Super Bowl, it's not just who they played. It's who they played and the situation they played them in, the players that were missing, and the circumstances of how they won those games. Yes, they played the Houston Texans, and the Houston Texans' top wide receiver was out, but it's the turnovers, the 4 picks by C.J. Stroud. Yes, they played the L.A. Chargers, and the L.A. Chargers' offensive line was completely decimated, and their starting running back was announced not to be playing right before the game started, and they had a backup running back for that game, and Justin Herbert didn't play particularly well either. And then they sneak past the Denver Broncos in a snowstorm. Again, people will mention the backup quarterback for Denver. How about the fact that they didn't have a legit running back in that game either? J.K. Dobbins was injured. R.J. Harvey simply isn't very productive as a running back. And Jaleel McLaughlin, he's not related to Sarah. People aren't probably very familiar with Jaleel McLaughlin. Anyways, the path here has been dubious at best for the Patriots. I don't think they're ready for a Seattle team. The line's sitting at 4.5 now. I'm not playing the side. If you buy my package, you're not going to get a play on the side. I didn't play a side last year. It's something there's a lot of bets available for the Super Bowl, and often the best value is to stay away from the side and focus on other angles. And so that brings me to a prop bet after I've crapped all over the Patriots, and I do think Seattle is the play here. But how do we take advantage of that in the prop market? I'm going to look at the MVP. Traditionally, MVP award goes to the quarterback of the winning team. We've seen that in 5 of the last 6 Super Bowls. In fact, we haven't seen a running back win MVP since 1997, I believe Ralph said that was. But man, that was a great Super Bowl with Terrell Davis and the Denver Broncos. I remember making $500 on that back in the days of black and white televisions when $500 was a lot of money. Anyways, I like Kenneth Walker here. I like the fact that Sam Darnold, if there's a path for the Patriots, it's Sam Darnold making mistakes. If they don't have to have Sam Darnold go out there and be a hero and they can lean on Kenneth Walker, I certainly believe he can get it done. If you look at his numbers in the playoffs so far, he ran for 116 yards and added 29 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns against the 49ers. Those are MVP type numbers. 62 rushing yards and 49 receiving yards and a touchdown last week against the Rams, but that was a close game. I think in order for Walker to get the carries, get the touches in this game, it has to be a blowout for Seattle. But I think there's a solid chance of that happening. The price on Walker is plus 650 to win the MVP. I think it's worth a sprinkle.
If that ticket does not cash, that ticket will indeed end up in the arms of an angel. There's your 6.
Well done. Well done, Andy.
Thank you
very well
much.
done. If you know, you know.
Come for the bets, stay for the Sarah McLaughlin jokes. Jesse, great.
He is building a mystery after all. This is very true.
Did not expect the Sarah McLaughlin. This is why you're the best.
Well done.
Jesse.
It was tasteful.
Yeah,
it was tasteful.
It was
Andy.
really, really, really well done. So,
Yeah.
All right. So Jesse is supporting the Denver Nuggets tonight. Myself and the Detroit team is supporting the Detroit Pistons, and Jesse has his college basketball $5 best bet that is up. Jesse, best of luck to you. Rooting on Kenneth Walker, and half of us are rooting on the Nuggets. Half of us are rooting on the Pistons tonight. Good luck to you, brother.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Appreciate it, Jesse. And yes, of course, after the video goes live, Andy, comment below with who is going to cover that Pistons game with your WagerTalk username. That's your chance to win a free 3-day flex pass. That easy.
Yep. Question, Andy, any cricket plays coming soon? Yes, the T20 World Cup starts this weekend. The first few games, let's just say they're a little juicy, Dan. India is minus 10,000 over U.S. West Indies is minus 1,100, and Pakistan is minus 2,000. We will not be getting involved. But if you have a lot of money, you should put it on India to beat the U.S. in cricket. So once the lines get a little better in the World Cup, the T20 World Cup, we will have plays with that. Six Nations Tournament Rugby starts this week, so we will have plays in that. So we got a lot of good stuff coming up. We mentioned the Pope theory about the Super Bowl, how the last three times.
Yes.
The Pope, the
Seattle Seahawks make the Super Bowl when the new Pope is elected. Yes.
Okay. Did you know there's a Groundhog Day? Punxsutawney Phil.
No, but I'm all in on this. What do we got? Because Groundhog, he saw his shadow yesterday, and he was well documented. We got 6 more weeks of winter. So how, as bettors, can we cash in on this?
In 2002, 2004, 2005, 2015, and 2017, Punxsutawney Phil has seen his shadow on Groundhog's Day. Every year, Patriots have won the Super Bowl, and he saw his shadow.
I don't want to hear that. That's not. I don't need to hear that, Andy. I mean, I have a lot tied up here. Yeah, see, Lino already knew. Lino already knew. This is one that I don't like to hear, Andy. I like when these meaningless trends back my side up. I don't like hearing that the Patriots are winning because Punxsutawney Phil saw his shadow. That's not great, Andy. Before we talk about what you have coming here for $5 Tuesday. You do a lot of team totals across all sports. It's a fun thing, not only fun, but a smart thing when you're able to isolate one side of the handicap. Great question here by Shane, or I guess statement by Shane here. He's looking at this Patriots team total over. Now, we've heard a couple people talk about this game. A lot of folks think the defenses will be the star in this game, which would make a 27-23 final seem a bit lofty. But any thoughts on team total either way in this game? Is it something that you're thinking you might attack as you head on into the Super Bowl here? Is it anything that could be in our SGP, or are you just crossing those off the list this year?
I have no strong opinion on this one. I do believe in the defenses. We've seen Seattle give up some points, but mostly to the Rams. And there's potentially an injury with Drake May. I think it might be a little bit overblown. I just don't think they have the weapons at wide receiver to kind of blow open this offense. It's going to be a lot of grinded out type of series. And if I have to play anything, it's a lean. But Shane, I will be rooting for you, just likewise. In spirit. I just don't have a strong opinion. So the answer is no. I don't have a strong opinion, but I will be rooting for you, Shane. How's that?
Yeah, and I'm with you. It's really tough for me. I kind of crossed the total off for me. I said, I don't really love the side. I don't really love the total. We are not sure, exactly how this game is going to go. Will these quarterbacks return to a different form? Will Drake may be back to that MVP form when he was playing against bad defenses, or has this raise of competition really made the second-year quarterback struggle? All of those factors are just too much for me to talk totals in this game personally.
Yeah, I agree with you. Can we just collectively agree that Groundhog Day is truly the strangest thing?
It's so dumb.
As a society do.
We bring rat out of the ground, Andy, and we're like, it's a bunch of drunk people in Punxsutawney, which there's nothing to do in Punxsutawney other than one day a year you go out there at what is it called, like Gobbler's Knob or something like
Gobbler's Knob, yeah.
Which again, what are we doing? Gobbler's Knob, adjacent to Intercourse, Pennsylvania. Blue Ball, not far either. But these Pennsylvania town names, you don't know what you're doing with them, Andy. But I'm with you. When I was doing local radio, we used to take a bus trip, and we would bus people out there to go to Gobbler's Knob, get absolutely schnogged up. Yeah, and the bus was full every year, Andy. And they would stand out there like 2 a.m. You got to go to get your spot. But I'm with you, man. But let's be real. Is Punxsutawney any worse of a weather prognosticator than the people who are actually paid to tell us what the weather is?
A man stands there in a suit and holds up a
with the top hat.
With the top hat on. Holds up a groundhog. Leave the groundhog alone.
Like Rafiki in Lion King. Just brings him for all of the all the
Groundhog.
gobblers knobbers to see. Yes.
Why couldn't it be like a sweet dog? Why couldn't it be
No.
Winnie the Minnie?
Stick the rat. No, stick the rat in the ground. Wow, we have a fraud alert.
Fraud.
Punxsutawney Phil. This is a fraud. Mike's sick of that guy. He's tired of it.
Wait a minute. That's a rabbit in a costume. What is that? It's a rabbit in a fat suit. What is going on? Oh, man. Punxsutawney Phil. So, all right. It's $5 Tuesday, Dan. We decided to go with the UFC best bet. That is up. So, I've been on a little bit of a cold streak with NBA, so I did not want to put up an NBA play. We have a pending tennis play, so I really didn't have any tennis pieces. And we're coming off one UFC play on Saturday. That was the only play we had at one. It was a 4%er. And there's basically a couple spots I like on the UFC card. And we had to fire a 4% UFC best bet. So I can't believe it's only $5, but you can get it WT.buzz/AL. It's a letdown of a card from coming off of UFC 324 and 325. And sometimes these are the best ones. You get some of these one-sided matchups. So I think we've isolated some good spots. I'm excited about this card. So one play, $5. It's a 4% UFC best bet. And that's available now up until midnight. Let's bring in, Steve. Purchase your super pack. I came with a great 5% bet. Do you know when you will release your other props? Yes. So I will be releasing them probably Wednesday moving forward. I like to wait until the lines get a little bit more settled. I don't see if I put out lines last week, they've all been obliterated and they've all been changing. So I don't like putting things in packs that are up there for a week when the lines are going to be completely different from when you get it. So we'll have probably 3 to 5 more plays, but as far as what you're betting with your real earned money, it's that 5% one. So yes, expect up until the Super Bowl to get some of these lines. So, all right, let's bring in Ralph.
The pen is here.
So, when I'm listening to you and Jesse and, oh my God, I don't even know how to start between Sarah McLaughlin and, hey, you know what? Someone accomplished a hell of a lot on Groundhog's Day. I was sitting here yesterday. I took a gummy and I was sipping Crown Apple. And I freaking watched the last hour of Groundhog Day with Bill Murray.
Oh, great movie.
Great movie. And Robert, this is no way to talk about our friend Ralph. Waking up a poor hibernating animal. This is ridiculous, Robert. Come on. Show some respect for the pen.
I do want to quantify though, Andy. I went to the database and I know Jesse has brought up the unders and I know my son lost his 17-game winning streak, and almost every play he had was an under. So let me quantify it for you viewers. In October in the NBA, the over-unders were 47 and 33, 59% to the over.
Wow.
In January, 93 and 140, that is 39.9% to the under. So 19 more percent plays have gone under in January than they did in November. That's a massive change from one month to the other.
Wow. That's amazing.
Great trend. Yeah.
I don't, and I watch NBA every night and I can't wrap I don't know if it's the officiating. I don't know if it's load management, if players are injured. I don't have a rhyme or a reason for it, but the numbers speak for themselves. We're talking unders there in the NBA. So interesting line there. Ralph, you've got a Peacock doubleheader here in college basketball here. Yeah, Xavier, UConn, Indiana versus USC. My Hoosiers, but we're going to start with UConn. Monster favorites here. Minus 17.5, over under 147.5. Wow. All right. What do you make of this game? We lay in the wood?
Well, first, let's talk. Do they deserve to be that size of a favorite? Absolutely. They're 21-1. They've played the 19th toughest schedule. They're 11-0 in the Big East. And their only loss was back on November 19th to Arizona, who some consider the best team in college basketball. You look at Xavier. Xavier now 12-10 on the year. They've only played the number 50 schedule. In the Big East, they're only 4-7. The first meeting back on New Year's Eve, UConn was laying 11.5 at Xavier. and they easily won that game 90-67. So we look at the first matchup, the better team dominated. We add in 6-point home edge, 3 that you're taking away from Xavier, 3 that you're adding to UConn, and the line is exactly 17.5, exactly where it should be. So now let's see if there's value playing the favorite or not. Let me say this. UConn can easily win the national championship again. You want to discuss a team. This team has no superstars. Everybody is balanced. Listen to these guys that have started the last 2 years. Solo Ball, 56 starts. Alex Karabin, 55 starts. You have Brandon Miller, a true frosh. He started 12 games. Silas Demery, 33 starts at Georgia last year, all 22 starts here. And then Jalen Stewart with 24 starts the last 2 years. The team has 5 players, all 5 starters are averaging between 10.6 and 14.6 points per game. So you have all 5 starters within a 4-point range. That means you never are counting on one person in one game. With that said, as the season progresses, they don't need to win big. They just want to continue to win. UConn is only 7-15 against the spread this season. And after they cashed their first 3 Big East games this year, they are only 1-7 against the spread. The only game they covered was their last game when they were laying 6.5 points to Creighton on the road. We look at Connecticut's schedule. As I said, last Saturday, they had a huge game against Creighton. Creighton was number 3, I think, in the Big East. They went to Creighton and win. On deck, they have a trip to St. John's. St. John's is 9-1 in the Big Ten and only 1 game behind them. I look at Xavier and I say, I'm okay backing Xavier. As a dog this year, they're 9-4 against the spread. They like pushing the tempo, so they get some backdoor covers. And by the way, they're 11-2 over-under as a spread. They're 6-5 in the Big East, 8-2 over-under against the spread. But again, the schedule stands out to me. Connecticut knows they blow this team out. They're off a road game against a top-tier team. They have a road game on deck. And I went to the database, guys. If you are a home favorite of 14 or more, and you're a top 10 team, and on deck, you have a ranked opponent that you're playing on the road. Those teams, guys, since 2012 have only they've gone 54-1 straight up, but they've gone 20-35, only 36.4% against the spread. The line is correct. The situation is correct, but the scheduling situation favors the Musketeers. I will back Xavier in this role.
All right, getting all of those 17.5 points tonight, Ralph. We're going to talk Indiana and USC. My Hoosiers trying to prove they're still a basketball school. Nobody's buying it. A couple big wins for Indiana here. Beat Purdue, beat UCLA. They're still out on the West Coast. They're ever so slight favorite, pretty close to a pick and -1.5 here with an over-under 152.5. How do you break this one down?
Well, let's look at the body of work. USC, 16-6 against the number 35 schedule. Indiana, 15-7, but Indiana's played the 14th toughest schedule, guys. So they have done well relative to their schedule. In Big Ten play, the offenses and defenses are basically close. So it's a very close situation. I will say this. Eric Musselman pointed out that USC is 6-1 in games decided by 1 possession. That's the best in the country. So they've learned to win some close games. The only game they lost was when they went to Iowa a couple games ago, and they only fell short by a single point. I look at Indiana. They are a 3-point shooting team, as you know, Andy. They are number 8 in the country. 52% of all their shots are from 3 points. That's crazy number. And they're very good at it. They're number 85 in the country. They've played better of late. They're actually number 3 in 3-point shooting in the Big Ten. Now, the Trojans are number 14 in 3-point D and only number 5 in the Big Ten. So that has me saying Trojans are number 140, 258 in three-point offense. They are number 14 in three-point defense. USC, fast-paced team, number 67. Indiana, slow-paced team, number 208. Now, Indiana is off a double overtime game. And if you're playing a conference game on the road off a double overtime game and the line is under 8, so you are a small favorite or a dog, what do you expect to happen? You expect the upper team like USC to try to press the tempo to keep a team that scored 98 points and played 2 overtimes 2 days ago, and that has been the case. Teams in college basketball that are a conference road team with a line under 8, so that means a favorite or a dog up to 8, with 2 days of rest or less, 40 overs and 15 unders. That is 73% to the over. Also, surprisingly, the teams like Indiana off a double overtime game are actually 34 and 22, 61% against the spread. I thought that would have been a fade situation. The data tells us it's not. Now, USC is a team I have circled. They were injury riddled for 6 weeks. They have most of those players back, and they have 11 players that made starts this season. Only 3 of those players have started more than 18 games. But if you haven't watched USC play, you need to tune in and make sure you keep your eye on Elijah Arenas. Yes, it's Gilbert's son. He was in that car accident last year. He just came back a few weeks ago. He started the last 4 games, and he will take their offense to the next level. So he is a player worth watching this game tonight, and look how good he is. But my breakdown is going to come this, guys. I like looking at what teams did against elite defenses and offenses and what they did against the other foes. So Indiana is only 1-6 against top 50 offenses. They're 14-1 offenses rated 50 or higher. Well, USC is 72. That puts Indiana in the 14-1 range. Indiana versus top 40 offenses, only 1-6, but they are 14-1 against offenses that rank 40 or higher. USC, number 45, that puts them in a 14-1 category. Now, USC against top 65 offenses, only 1-6. They're 14-0 against poor offenses rated 65 or higher. Not only is Indiana number 29, it is the 4th best offense they faced. And against top 50 Ds, USC is 4-5, but 14-1 against those 54 or higher. Indiana is right at that line. So the total makes sense to me on the over. The Indiana makes sense on me, but I'm going to give you a best bet with one stipulation. Indiana is without Peyton Conaway, their point guard. They need him tonight for the over or to cover. He missed the UCLA game. That's why they struggled into double overtime. He's a game time decision. If he plays tonight, if he is warming up and they have him in the lineup, I will back that Indiana and overplay. Without him in the lineup, I'm just going to give you an opinion on Indiana, and we'll see what happens.
All right. So we got to wait a little bit on the injury report here. Hell of a breakdown, Ralph.
Well done.
About as in-depth as
it's a fun game. I've been on USC watching them for a while. And like I said, they're a team, right now their numbers are mediocre. If they gel properly, they're a team that can come in and surprise and win the Big Ten as a, 7, 8, or 9 seed. The way injuries during the season like this, especially in conference play, you get injured early and you're playing nobodies. You don't get that same cohesiveness. You have injured players missing conference games and road games. It gets those young kids so much more prepared for the pressure that is the Big Ten conference tourney.
Yeah, agree completely. We see this all the time. There's like 2 conferences every year that some team comes out of nowhere and wins as a 10-1, 7-1, 8-1 underdog. So,
and you got to remember this though, Andy. We've seen such a change. You look at some of these teams that play that second weekend. If you play the first weekend, you have no issues. These Big Ten teams don't want to have to win 5 straight games and then prep for a game that next Thursday. There are times when a team like Connecticut or Arizona, They don't give a shit that they lose in the second round of the big. That's not their goal, is to win the Big 12 tournament. Their goal is to win the national championship. So a few days extra of rest, coaches don't come out and say it, but if you read between the lines, that happens more than you think.
Great stuff, Ralph. What do you have for everybody on $5 Tuesday?
College football sides on a 19-5 run, 79%, number one in college football the last 30 days. Check it out again. $5 at WagerTalk, me and every other capper. And Andy and Dan, thank you for mentioning the guide yesterday. I want to throw out a few quick prop results. Now, the guide is 9 pages long. It breaks down the Super Bowl history. Like, did you know in the Super Bowl, dogs have covered 5 straight and dogs have won the last 5 outright? And if you're betting New England, remember this. The last 11 times the underdog has covered the Super Bowl, they have won the game outright. So I'll steal VR's line. If you're thinking about playing New England, there's absolutely no reason to not sprinkle some on the money line. Couple more I'll mention. 15 straight winners on the team to score last wins the game. That lost yesterday. That lost last year. But remember, Dan, Philly was up, 20-0 or 27-0 at halftime? It was just garbage time the whole second half. So that was the first time in 16 years that the team to score last won the game. I do like that to revert back. Will there be a score the first 6 minutes of the game? No has won back-to-back, and the no is 8-1 the last 9 years. Will there be a score the last 2 minutes of the first half? 3 straight yeses, and the yeses are 11-5 the last 16 years. And I'm going to give you a free prop that I have loaded for a client release right now. The shortest TD will be under 1.5 yards. That has won 4 of 5 and has won 8 of 10. Joe Public thinks, wow, I either can say we're going to have a 1-yard touchdown or anything longer. Well, with pass interferences in the end zones, with missed extra points, with the defensive pressure on goal line stands, those tush pushes, all of that does lead to much more pressure. And the Super Bowl, unlike the regular season, you have many more touchdowns of only 1 yard. So that is an actual client, 2% play, the shortest TD under 1.5 yards.
Love it. Love that play. I would also throw in AJ Barner, anytime touchdown. You think AJ Barner? Why is it only plus 240? He's their tush push guy.
And you know what? Let me tell you this, Andy. One value that people don't look at, as we keep getting more and more props, I think the Westgate was 86 pages.
Something like that.
What happens is they try to appease Joe Public to get more bets. So when they put out player props, will score a touchdown. It used to be they used to have 3 or 4 for each team. Now you're seeing 6, 7, and 8, where you can find value on no's. My biggest super bet ever was I bet every no for New England and the Rams in that one touchdown Super Bowl. But so don't automatically think you want to bet yes, because the public likes yeses and the overs. In Super Bowl props, you often find more value on the unders and the nos. So take a look at those situations.
Ralph Michaels, so much information. Thank you so much, Ralph.
Done. The pen.
Say hi to the pen and the crown apple, brother.
Yes.
And just so you guys know, I'm here in South Florida, and it was 90 10 days ago on Sunday. I woke up today and it was 34 degrees. So I will say this, if you're in South Florida and it goes from 90 to 40, that is much worse than anything you guys could talk about in Indy or Philly. A 50-degree drop, I'm looking around and these people won't even leave their houses and they have their parkas covering their doors and stuff. It's
That's crazy.
So man, we're all feeling the effects, even down here in South Florida.
Yeah, well, enjoy, Ralph. Stay warm, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
have a great Super Bowl. Appreciate you having me on.
Yep, you too. Ralph Michaels, WT.buzz/RM, and that college basketball that Ralph was talking about, you can grab over at his page, college basketball. Yeah, after all. Yeah.
You have an overprop in the Super Bowl that isn't anti-New England. Ramondre Stevenson.
I do.
Ramondre over 11.5 on his longest rush. He's gone over in 7 straight games. So he's going to get a lot of work, and he's explosive. He's their bell cow at this point. TreVeyon Henderson was non-existent against Denver. So Yeah, he just needs to break one long one. So there's one for you. Do you have one, Dan?
So I'll give it out in our SGP. It's a pro New England bet, but I wanted to bring this up because Rex still basking in the glow of the Cooper DeJean anytime touchdown. One of the things that I just thought was wild about how that score happened, for the tinfoil hat people out there, we were doing Wager Talk last call, like we'll do this Sunday as well. 11 a.m. Ace is going to be on it. I think Marco's going to be on it. So we'll have your Wager Talk last call. Last year, I was the one producing it, and VR came on. And while he was on, his phone started blowing up, and he was like, "What is this?" And he said, "I'm getting all kinds of messages. Bet Cooper DeJean touchdown. Bet defensive score for the Eagles." And this was at 11 a.m. the morning of the Super Bowl when we were doing the show live. So for the tinfoil hat people out there, that's one that always stands out to me. That it's like, how was he getting a text about Coop to score a touchdown at 11 a.m. the morning of the Super Bowl? And then boom, lo and behold, while it was happening, the second he intercepted that ball, I was like, holy shit, he's going to score. And Yanni called it from the text that he was getting the morning of the Super Bowl. So it just blows my mind, Andy. Somebody knew something.
For the most random comment in the live chat, how accurate were y'all with bets on Bears games?
I think he's throwing shade at the Bet On It crew and at me, who faded the Bears a couple times.
Oh, that's where this is from.
Yeah, I think it's circling back, being like, oh, you guys don't know shit because the Bears were the surprise team of the year who still ended up losing in a home game. So I
was going to say, Caleb Williams to throw 2 touchdowns and Kyle Monangai over receiving.
Oh, you were cashing like crazy.
Those are great ones. So
I ended up as a 1 seed in the in my fantasy playoffs thanks to Kyle Monangai. So while I was fading them, I was still betting on them. But yes, they did end up losing a home game to get ejected from the Super Bowl. Or playoff contention. So they did end up losing at home with all of the bloviating that the fans did there. Yes, they got kicked out there.
Well, I didn't know the context of the Bears.
Well, it was very specific. It was oddly specific, And I just know from monitoring the Bet On It comments, Marco got annihilated. VR got annihilated in the comments for the Bears hate that they were dropping on there.
Let's do a same game parlay here. Here's how the same game parlay is going to work. I get 2 legs. Dan gets 2 legs. We're building this off of DraftKings. I don't know what Dan's 2 legs are. I will guarantee I have a leg that Dan has never even looked at, but I'm excited. I did have something funny. I wish that they don't have it on DraftKings. Who will the MVP thank first? And I was thinking to myself, God is like the big favorite. What better way to bless your same game parlay than to have God as a yes in it? How does that lose?
It doesn't hurt the chances, at least. It doesn't hurt the chances.
Yeah. So all right. Let's do same game parlay. You want to go first? What's your first leg?
Yeah, so first leg, here we go. I got something for you here, Lino, and I'm looking at Travion Henderson. We talked a lot about Ramondre Stevenson. Again, I think this is going to be a game where running backs are featured early and they're featured often. I'm going to take Travion Henderson 5 or more rush attempts in this game.
Oh.
I think people are going to really get caught up in the fact that he had 3 attempts in the AFC Championship game. Andy, with the snow that was in that second half, a young running back, Vrabel has shown if there are elements, I don't want someone with a question mark that could be dropping it on the turf. I want Ramondre Stevenson, who once he had fumbling issues, he shored them up this season. Before that game where he had 3 attempts 2 weeks ago, Andy, 5 or more attempts in 12 straight games for Travion Henderson. I think Pats are going to be using the full depth of all the weapons. Henderson is one of those weapons. I talked earlier when we talked about rushing props, how I like his longest rush over. I also like him to see 5 or more carries in this game. So let our first leg in the SGP, Travion Henderson, 5+ rush attempts.
I'm going to go to the sack props, and I want to fade this Patriots offensive line who's struggled mightily. And I'm going to throw DeMarcus Lawrence at +114 to have 1 sack. He's had exactly 1 in both of the playoff games, and I think they move him around a little bit. And Drake May as mobile as he is, that actually works into the sacks a little bit because he doesn't throw the ball away a lot. So pocket collapses, you get some weak protection. I can see some sacks going Seattle way. So I'm gonna throw DeMarcus Lawrence to have 1 sack. So we got Travion, 5+ rush attempts, DeMarcus Lawrence to have 1 sack. What's your next one?
Yeah, I was looking at that Milton Williams prop to have a sack as well, but with the whole half sack thing that gets thrown in there, I wanted to cross that off because the Patriots are kind of more of a swarming defense than one guy breaking through. So if you were able to find a half sack on any of these guys, maybe that's a way that I would attack it from the Patriots perspective. But with you, DeMarcus Lawrence, I love it. Here's one that I know that you weren't eyeing, Andy. You had one that I'm not eyeing in this, and I'll have one that you aren't. We're doing it. We're taking Jake Bobo to have a receiving yard, Andy. A single receiving yard for Jake Bobo. It's plus 125. Here's the reason is Bobo, he's the talk of the town. A lot of people are betting him to have a touchdown because he had one in the most previous game here. Yes, Jake Bobo. Lot of 12 personnel that you will be seeing in this game for the Seattle Seahawks. That means Bobo will be on the field in both playoff games, Andy, when they have been trying to do things a little bit different than just throwing the ball up to JSN every single play. He's gotten a target in each of them. He's gotten a catch in each of them. As a matter of fact, he had 2 targets last game. So yes, season long, Jake Bobo hasn't been a guy who's been on the field, but come playoff time, when they've changed up their personnel a little bit, he has been featured here. All he has to do is catch 1 ball, Andy. 1 ball for Jake Bobo. This is the kind of props that we like, where it's just a guy who will be on the field to see a little bit of action. Full depth of options, just like I said with the Patriots. Jake Bobo to get a receiving yard. Throw it in there, Andy.
Okay. All right. We got our Jake Bobo. That's
when
interesting.
When he catches a ball, it will be the most electric play of the game, Andy. Just mark that down.
I don't know about most electric play, but it will be exciting. All right. I'm going to go with Mac Hollins to have 25+ receiving yards in this one. 51 against Denver, 69 against Baltimore, 41, 23 against the Giants. I mean, the guy's been going over. I know he's got an abdomen issue. If this man can walk barefoot in 0-degree temperature, a little abdomen ouchie isn't going to keep this man from playing and producing. The wide receivers are a little limited. Stephon Diggs is up and down, but Mac Hollins, he can jump up and go get the ball. He's made some big catches. They trust him. So I got Mac Hollins 25+. Don't be surprised if he can get this in 1 catch. Just 1 catch on a long ball.
You're not wrong, and that's kind of the way that he goes. He's also across the middle kind of guy. Yeah, Andy, makes a lot of sense to me, and I love it. We're perfectly aligned as we have 2 Seattle props and 2 New England props, and Andy and I didn't run our props by each other, because if I did, perfect, Andy probably would have said, maybe pick something other than Jake Bobo. But Jake Bobo's in there, baby. What's the payout that we're looking at, Andy?
This is a perfect 15-1. So the recap is Travion, 5 rush attempts, DeMarcus Lawrence, 1 sack, Bobo, 1 or more receiving yards, and Mac Hollins, 25+ receiving yards. There is your 15-1 same game parlay for the Super Bowl.
I'm betting it. Andy. I'm betting it with my own money. You're betting it with your own money. We ride with you. Comment below and let us know if this is a WTF or LFG. Who is tailing? And also comment below and let us know what your SGP is. We all know we're going to be betting them come Super Bowl Sunday. What legs are you throwing in there? Let us know in the comments below. Let's build an SGP. And as Steve says, let's learn and earn and win together. Love that line by our man, Steve Merrill.
It's pretty good. There is one prop that I think it's a novelty prop. It is on DraftKings. It's next gen stats. I may have to do a breakdown video on this. It's minus 180. I don't care. Mac Hollins under 19.5 miles per hour. The fastest he's been clocked is 18.5. He's not a speedster. He jumps up, makes tough catches, and his feet are a little calloused from all that walking around in the freezing weather. I don't think he gets to 19.5. This was minus 160. Now it's minus 180. Sharp money is on Mac Hollins under 19.5 miles per hour. That's on DraftKings. Go to novelty props and next gen stats.
Love it.
I'm going to do a solo video and send that to Chris, and he's going to be like, "What the hell, man?"
It's happening. It's happening whether you like it or not. And here's what's crazy
on the YouTube channel.
is think about all of these plays that we have given out on this show thus far, the 2 great guests that we had on this show thus far, and we still haven't even gone all around the world. It's time to go all around the world, baby.
hold on. Shahid over 30
okay.
miles an hour.
Damn.
30 miles an hour? No, 20. You can't run 30 miles an hour.
That'd be
Rashid,
impressive.
he's fast. He's not that fast. 20
Yes.
miles an hour. All right.
If he was an anamorph, he could probably get it done. If he was an anamorph, he could probably get that done.
All right, let's do all around the world, and then we'll get out of here for today. Pacers, Jazz. I just love these backup centers, Dan. Kyle Flipowski, over 8.5 rebounds. I believe Nurkic is out, so he's going to get plenty of opportunities. He's had 12, 10, and 12 the last 3 games with Nurkic out of the lineup. Pacers played last night. Dan, they got out-rebounded. I had to double-check and triple-check to see if this is right. They got out-rebounded by 23. 23 rebounds. They got out rebounded by 3 different guys had double-digit rebounds against the Pacers last night. So Flipowski looks like he's going to get the start, take his rebounds over. The Kraken and the Ducks, Tobinin over 1.5 shots on goal. He's got a really, really good track record against Anaheim. Anaheim gives up 22nd most shots on goal, over 20 shots to forwards and centers. 3 straight games he's gone over against Anaheim, and he's gone over this in 5 straight. And this play started off 12-21 to start the season. Since then, 15-5. So he's on the trend up on this one. And the Phoenix Open, I still call it the Waste Management. This is, outside of the majors, the single best golf tournament of the year. If you haven't watched it, it's Anarchy on the 16th hole, par 3. Massive party. They do this every Super Bowl weekend. It's an awesome tournament, and I'm going to take Nick Taylor to finish in the top 40. This line should be minus 180, minus 190. This guy's finished first and second in 2 of the last 3 years, and he's finished top 40 easily in both of his tournaments this year. He loves this place. He's playing really good right now. So Nick Taylor is going to finish in the top 40 at the Phoenix Open. And right after this, Dan and myself and Jan will be recording the golf preview video, get you all the best bets for the Phoenix Open. In my mind, this is when the golf season starts with this tournament. It's one of my favorites to watch every single year. All right. Thank you very much, guys. Good luck on all your bets. We're going to do the same thing tomorrow. I think Drew Martin is on, and someone asked if we can get Drew to try and make a peacock sound in honor of the peacock doubleheaders.
We'll see what we can do. I don't know if that Drew's come out of his shell a little bit, but I don't know if it's gone full peacock sound. But we'll see. Maybe you never know.
Maybe we can just get him to shake his tail feather. That would be close enough. So
well done.
Cracks play yesterday was gold. Awesome. Glad he cashed for that one. $5 Tuesday, guys. Get as many $5 plays as you want from your best handicapper, your favorite handicapper, somebody new. Get to read all the write-ups and get as many as you want, as many as you feel comfortable. Make sure you bet responsibly. We don't want too much of your bankroll on a bunch of Tuesday plays. Mine is a 4% best bet in UFC. That goes off this Saturday. Super excited for it. Thanks for watching, guys. Please hit the like button on the way out and make sure you comment below whether you agree with Andy or Jesse, and make sure you put your WagerTalk username in there to be eligible to win a free 3-day pass. Thanks very much, guys. Good luck on your bets. We'll see you over tomorrow. Take care.
Godspeed.